And wow, if you're Sheth, you got to be thinking like, wow, that game was really difficult. Also, I want to make a point that despite the fact that Sheth played that game phenomenally, his creep spread, if he had, he'd be able to control his defenses a lot better if he had that creep available. But MorroW was doing such a good job making sure to draw his attention away. Sheth never really had an opportunity to do that.
Dude, and how many times do you actually get into that end game stage where you have a lot of experience with that? It's like, oh, I know in this position I should make 4 Infestors, 7 Ultras, and then 20 Broodlord. It's like nobody knows that.
And it's also a Tal'Darim Ultra map that people haven't necessarily been practicing as much on, so it's a little bit easy for us to say from a bird's eye view. Exactly, but Sheth has played that. I mean, from his POV, he was doing a great job, and MorroW was fantastic as well. You know, it was so funny because MorroW was controlling map by, you know, having his planetaries, tanks, and his sensor towers everywhere. But Sheth was the one controlling the tower. So in the essence, both players had vision everywhere, and they knew what was happening. And so they were just trying to react. And that was like a really good indication of what would happen if both players had vision of everything that was going on.
Gosh, it was just map hacks for both of them. That's basically what
essentially.
It is.
Well, that's it for game number 1. Let's talk about game number 2. It's a new game. Nothing matters after the game. That's actually exactly pro gamer psychology. You just got to drop it and move on. MorroW is our yellow Terran in the bottom right from MalCC. Playing a phenomenal game. He is opening up 2 barracks without gas against this player, Bel'Shir. This player, Sheth from Team Liquid. Sean Simon, who's a phenomenal Zerg player. Love his stream. Great commentary. Fantastic guy. Great manners. And pretty sick ZVT. Last time we saw him here against Polt, where he went roaches against that huge mech play. That was also a game to watch. You know what? Not just MorroW games are great to watch. Sheth games.
Dude, if you saw him at the Red Bull LAN, he had some amazing games, man. His match against Thorzane.
Yeah.
I mean, that just shows you he has so many good games.
We said different games.
Seriously. But, you know, he is opening up for 15 hatchery, obviously spawning pool and extractor. That's really important to note. The extractor gives him a lot of agency. He can swing over to banelings, especially for this particular opening because it is 2 racks play. Sheth doesn't have any indication just yet if it is 2 racks play, but his Overlord is in great position to actually go in here and spot both of them out. We'll see his reaction if he is able to get there in time. We'll see in a minute.
So Sheth, he seems to not know that this 2 racks is coming. Doesn't really have any indication whatsoever other than that bunker.
No, he does. Yeah, and he has to pull a lot of drones at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't know if it's a fake or it's real, and you're always better off treating it as if it's real.
Yes.
And so you can see MorroW has 2 more Marines, and if he sees that 3rd Marine, Sheth should know what's up at this point.
Now, yeah, exactly. He only sees the 2nd Marine at this point, so it could still be 1 base, or excuse me, 1 racks. Yeah. But we're going to see him actually push ahead. The bunker is still going down. He needs to actually allocate a couple of units to actually deal with that effectively. But there it is, finally taking it out. MorroW will be held off.
Yeah, so pretty good job there. But MorroW did get what he wanted. He killed off an equal amount of workers and forced a lot of drones off middle line. And forced a lot of Zerglings. And great job retaining his Marines as well. And so MorroW not exactly discontent with that opening. He's expanding very safely. Now, Bel'Shir Beach has a very interesting amount of favor towards one race. I'm not going to say which. It's an event. But what are your thoughts on this map for ZVT entering the mid-game? Because it looks like we're comfortably past the early game volatility. Do you think Sheth's in a good position? Do you think MorroW's in a good position? MorroW's double expanding.
I think Sheth is in a great position because of this 3rd Orbital Command Center. I would have said no before that because there are a couple of 2-base timings where you can hit that it's basically irrelevant where or we shouldn't say where, but you know, you can kind of make it so that the map features don't really affect you as much. The big problem with this map, I think, is the fact that you can counterattack from 2 different ways. And also taking your 3rd base. A lot of people, I think MorroW actually likes to take his 3rd base over here because it's a lot more push-oriented, especially gearing up for 2-2 timings. Think about it, it's a lot more effective. But I don't think it's even going to matter. Liquid Sheth, look at him. Making a Baneling nest, ton of Zerglings. He's going for a Baneling bust.
Yeah, he has 10 Zerglings in production, and he sees MorroW just staying on Marines at this point. No sign of tech whatsoever. Sometimes after early barracks, you transition to double gas into factory. And with this many Zerglings, Sheth, as long as he makes great connections and detonations with Banes, he'll be good to go. For now, his Bane is about to finish. How many Banes should he make, Andre?
I think just enough to kill the bunker. Yes, this is a really early time, and look at the income tab, 23 harvesters. So he doesn't even have the capacity to do this. Ooh, actually a great time would to be to go right now, but he didn't.
Well, he, just like you said, he's making just enough to really take out the bunker and really displace the Marines from having an anchor point. Sheth's going to move in with the Zerglings with the Banings, and MorroW, how's he going to react? He sees immediately trying to split up his Marines, but does not really have to worry about that. The Banings have been exhausted. Now he just needs to prevent the Zerglings from getting surrounded. Sheth, content with falling back. The front line has been taken out, but Sheth still has some work to do if he really wants to bust MorroW. He does have 3 barracks, full production, and MorroW has to finish walling off at this point, or at least try to set up a defense where it's really hard for Zerglings to get anywhere. Look at the spread from MorroW at this point.
Absolutely beautiful. And this is going to make it very hard for the Zerglings to actually connect all the way. Baneling gets picked off immediately, and these Zerglings are going to get in here. Sheth, no, I don't think Sheth can actually do this.
Well, the big thing behind this is that Sheth didn't really drone whatsoever. He was on 15 drones for a long time, and now is starting to drone up. He will go up into the mid-20s, and you can see he's droning up comfortably, but MorroW is just so far ahead. He's got that work advantage with triple orbital, and Sheth's tech is extremely underdeveloped as well because he hasn't been mining that much gas. So this is a very tough situation for Sheth.
And that third orbital, if you want to look at it in terms of SCVs, it is just like having 4.5 more SCVs, but what's so important about it is that it disregards any form of saturation, of course. Because obviously mules can mine over SCVs, so that helps out so much. So it's 4.5 efficient SCVs mining on minerals. That's a really important thing to note, as even if Sheth equalizes the harvesters right here, the fact that you have a diminishing law of return on these mineral patches gives MorroW just even more of an advantage. And you can see that right here in income. Yeah,
MorroW knows that Sheth committed a lot to it, and he's going to go for the one thing that he knows he can harvest advantage on, which is his economy. He's going to immediately invest his gas directly into upgrades, which should give him a huge opportunity to punish Sheth for not being able to really answer to his Marines force. You can see Sheth trying to take a third base, but it's pretty delayed even by standard timings. And so MorroW scouts it, and he knows that Sheth's pretty vulnerable. Sheth non-stop droning, 12 drones in production. So this is Sheth's attempt to come back, but he's really got to pray for several minutes of inactivity from MorroW, but I don't think MorroW's going to do that necessarily.
Well, I think MorroW, that's been his style so far. He's probably going to do the same exact thing that we've seen every time, which is 2-2. Really, he doesn't have a lot of capabilities, although he is pushing out with... Oh, no. Yeah, there he goes.
No, you're right.
Making the wall. And he's just going to go ahead and say, I still retain my 2-2 timing. And people might say, well, MorroW, aren't you letting your opponent back into this? Well, no, because I always have my upgrade advantage on you. And not only that, the other thing that I have is the development of my army. This is going to be a giant army still. And Sheth,
yeah, you're right.
He has to play super, super greedy if he wants to stay into this. Basically, MorroW is saying, I've already established my economy. Let's just macro. No matter what, I'm going to have more units than you. The way that you counter this is you double or triple expand after this. And really try to say, okay, well, you're going to not attack. Let me go ahead and get my economy up and not even worry about anything that you do. But Sheth isn't doing that, so he is leaning towards a more passive side and therefore giving the advantage to MorroW.
Yeah, you're right. MorroW, when he sees the timing on the third and that's delayed and MorroW can get his third as well, then he's like, okay, well, this is pretty good situation for me. Love the fact that MorroW immediately starts patching up one side of the map, so that way if any kind of run by is attempted, MorroW at least has a wave of defense to be able to prevent that. You can see the Zerglings immediately trying to run by, and there is a small little hole. Actually, that actually does help MorroW in terms of letting him know there's still a small little sliver that he has to cover.
Definitely so. Now here's the most expensive scout you've ever seen. A medevac is just going to go around. I guess see the creep spread.
My scouting BC is the most expensive.
Okay, you're right. Scouting mothership. That would be the most expensive.
Scouting Thor, like just walk, make it run by the entire middle line. Thor's like, Thor's here, just casually
just
scouting.
Chilling, man.
Just chilling. And the Zerg's like so confused why there's a Thor walking around the middle line.
All right, I was trying to follow that medevac, but I think it's it's absolutely useless. TG was started for MorroW a little bit later than he wanted it to, but he's still in good time as 1-1 is just about to finish for Sheth. What does Sheth do from here? It's tough to say. I would actually go for probably the biggest Baneling bomb you've ever seen in your life. That'd be really cool. So actually don't spread your creep here because you know he's going to scan. You know, maybe... Well, I mean, that's really, really silly. But
I mean, MorroW has pretty good understanding. I like the medevac scout as well, knowing his opponent's tech is underdeveloped. Can't really do anything to that medevac whatsoever. And of course, the idea that it threatens a potential drop as well. So Sheth kind of has to react to it or risk getting way out of position. MorroW, look at these wall of supply depots. And there's just no availability for Sheth to really get a full surround. I mean, a lot of times in Bel'Shir Beach, even in Sheth vs. Pulp, there's angles which Zerg just seems to come from every direction. None of that with MorroW. MorroW's making sure to shut down everything. Very good about not ever getting supply blocked.
And this dropship is going to go over to the main base where there are spine crawlers and an additional spore crawler over here. That will help out quite a bit, but it's going to displace some units, I think. Yeah, there it is.
Well, Sheth actually going to try to see if he can run by. There's a small little hole. Doesn't get past.
He goes into the main.
And he's going to be able to run into the main. That's exactly what he said. But MorroW's in two places at once. He's at the main, which does end up being cleaned up. He's also pressuring the third with another drop, but calling back all of his units to try to see if he can aid his reinforcements. You can see immediately this is exactly what Sheth needed to really call back the units before MorroW can go for his 2-2 timing. MorroW the third is doing some pretty heavy damage though, and the Zerglings are unupgraded compared to his opponent. 2-2 about to finish. Or no, wow, MorroW doesn't actually have 2-2 finish before then.
Sheth is playing this amazing, man.
Wow.
If there's any way to get back into the game, he just did it. I mean, this is the perfect amount of harass. You can see now even this third base is under attack. This is beautiful. The natural got cleaned up. Let's look at the income tab really quickly. It is 56 to 50. Okay, so MorroW's still ahead.
But just slightly ahead. Before he would be a lot further ahead.
Yeah,
we saw that he was like
9.
27 workers to 15 with triple orbital.
True.
And now Sheth has closed the gap considerably, just because of the margin percentage-wise. Sheth isn't that far behind, but this timing is still scary.
It's scary, but not as scary as it was before, because look at this. 2-2 is just about to finish. The whole counter... Oh, excuse me. There's even more. Zerglings are going into the natural. Yet again, this one little sliver of unit... Or excuse me, not sliver of unit, but sliver of...
Space.
Space, thank you. Is actually killing MorroW.
MorroW just... The worst part is, like, he doesn't know how it even happened. He's not patching it up. If he knew, he would have done it a long time ago. He's just going to trade the third for a lot of lost mining type. Zerglings doing a fantastic job cleaning up the workers. In the end, Sheth killed 40 workers this game as his units end up getting cleaned up. And MorroW lost a huge amount of mining time. A very good attempt from Sheth to really buy time. Nonetheless, MorroW did the right decision, also stifling a little bit of Sheth's economy. Sheth doesn't really have his auxiliary bases mining that well. His fourth base doesn't have any drones, and his fifth base just has a few on the minerals.
But look at this, 52 to 37. Still, Zerglings are running amok inside the natural of MorroW's base. I mean, MorroW is just, he doesn't have any composure in this game. Finally patching up the hole. He will be able to defend against any Zergling run-bys. But man, I mean, think about it. One depot would have won him the game very, very easily. One depot, that's crazy to actually say. A drop going in the third base, or I don't even know what base this is. That's going to get cleaned up, or at least picked up immediately. Look at that, there's an Infestor and a lot of Zerglings to go and greet them if they choose to go into the main. Just outstanding play by Sheth. But I think more obviously of a problem by MorroW. He's the one that I think is going to be kicking himself a little bit later on.
Well, keep in mind that a huge percentage of Sheth's supply is Zerglings. In fact, he's got 51 drones, 109 Zerglings, and 4 infestors. Like, he doesn't really have anything except these Zerglings and a couple of infestors, and MorroW really trying to capitalize on that. He's going to push in the top right as well as drop the main. A huge response to the main. MorroW gets the snipe on the spawning pool and manages to clean up the base. It is not done just yet. This is textbook Terran Berserk. You see MorroW again trying to see if he can draw attention away. As a result, trade 2 bases and a spawning pool for just 2 drops. More than worth it. So this is a great move by MorroW.
But Sheth, because of this, will be able to stabilize a little bit easier. You know, I always go into this. I went into it last game of how, you know, Zerg can't really defend all these different positions. I think from here, those bases in the top right are more insurance. So it's like my bases are expendable. I can lose them. I'll just have to relocate. But I think it's of the utmost importance that Sheth actually goes and starts to remake them because he needs his insurance as he is doing a counterattacking backstab style.
7 Banelings in production to see if he can bust the supply depot wall. Nothing too extravagant, but MorroW senses something. His spidey senses are tingling for lack of a better word. You can see that immediately he's preparing a great defense back at this wall. He's just making sure that he can buy time so he can mass up a huge amount of forge. You see his 4th base is in production. Will Sheth choose to go? And the answer is no. He's going to drone up.
By the way,
fall back at this point.
MorroW barely has any minerals left. Like, he's mining out of all of his bases. His main is basically gone. Well, there it goes. His natural is tiny. His 3rd is tiny. And here we go. Big push into... Nope. Just killing his heat.
Yeah, he's going to move to the top right half of the map. Which is a good choice.
Dude, I love Sheth's play so far. I mean, even though the beginning was kind of tough for him, very tough for him, he's been able to play this so well. Though MorroW did do a huge blunder. I mean, this... is fantastic. I'm in love with Sheth right now. I'm in love with these 2 players. This series is probably one of the best series I've cast in the NASL.
But the problem is that Sheth doesn't have a direct answer to the might of MorroW's army. MorroW, keep in mind, his worker count is so low. He's got 140 supply and he's not of army, and he's not even maxed yet. So MorroW still just has a huge amount of beef to his military, and the big thing is that MorroW just has to play this methodically. He knows he can take Sheth in the late game if he plays systematically. Now, top of the room is not as big. So Sheth, when he gets ultras out, especially because his creep has extended all the way to the left side of the map, his mobility has increased tenfold compared to last game. Nonetheless, MorroW has been doing a great job being everywhere at once. He's already done it once where he can draw the attention to the main and take out the auxiliary bases. For now, MorroW just intent on securing the 4th base while pressuring, and Sheth's going to have to play defense here.
Well, here we go. He's going to defend the top right-hand corner, it looks like, with a lot of Banelings, Zerglings, and Infestors. A nice effort over here, but he's going to be intercepted by a lot of Marauders. He needs to be careful, but there should be a counterattack coming pretty soon. He needs to hit this right away because he needs to force the hand of MorroW. You can't let it just sit here, or else MorroW's just going to be able to clean up this attack and then come back and defend at home pretty efficiently.
Oh, the Banes are caught behind the Zergling, so giving MorroW enough time. Now he's starting to pack everything up and send it back at home. He's going to send out some Marauders to also stim forward, but there also are some Burrow Banelings. Sheth tries to see if he can detonate it in time. The Zerglings get a surround on the Marines and a huge explosion. MorroW not sieged up, but Sheth is more than okay with backing off.
Burrow the Banelings, Burrow the Banelings! Oh, the Infestors. One of them gets picked off, and it looks like he's telling the other one, but the Zerglings are going to go directly into the main. This is, again, great play by Sheth, really utilizing the map as best as possible.
Yeah.
And I felt like MorroW should have been able to defend that, but oh my god, Sheth, for the first time in this game, has taken the supply advantage, 146 to 171. And that is going to be, look at that, the army supplies are evening out so much. 105 to 118. Sheth is finessing his way back into this game. Absolutely looking beautiful.
Yeah, making that counter, that southern wall has just been the bane of MorroW's existence. Just because that's been allowing so much weak side attack that MorroW hasn't really been able to defend adequately. And as a result, MorroW, he's been trying to see if he can pressure these exterior bases, but hasn't able to ever fully commit to it because of this south side attack. Another attack, and the Zerglings and Banes are all piling in. Fungals on the rest of the units. MorroW is frozen dead in his tracks and not able to really move at this point. Just has to fall back, but with so much army barreling down to his natural, MorroW's production line is not able to do anything. Calling down mules, trying to see if he can just confuse the pathing of the units. But MorroW really can't do anything against it. Infest Terrans are the ones left to do some damage. Sheth is doing phenomenal this game. More Lings and Ultras are on the way, and Sheth is also expanding to the bottom left, while MorroW is relegated just to 1 base of income. This is phenomenal. Sheth 157 to 84 supply. This is ridiculous.
Dude,
wow.
This is amazing. I mean, Sheth, it's the perfect word, finessed his way back into this game. The whole game he was behind in supply. What did he use? Banelings, Zerglings, and Infestors. I think the 3 highest units in the Zerg arsenal being cost efficient. That's like amazing. Now 4 Marines are going to take out a hatchery. Yeah. Hero Marines. Job well done, guys.
Pretty good job there.
But notice one thing really quick. Do you see, like, click on any Terran building. Do you see +2 on that building armor? Exactly, Frodan.
Do you see high-sec auto-tracking?
Do you see high-sec auto-tracking? Exactly,
I don't.
Frodan.
I see 2 Marines and a couple of Infested Terrans, and the Infested Terrans are able to DPS them down. You can see at this point, MorroW is trying to just do any way he can to come back in this game. But Sheth is just everywhere at once, and that is... I mean, Sheth capitalizing perfectly on Bel'Shir Beach, getting the full surround this planetary, which drops. Is also another nail in the coffin for MorroW, as he's not able to really secure an expansion. You can see MorroW doing what he can, killing off some bases, and Sheth not really able to answer to it. But Sheth, I mean, he's okay with trading like this because he knows. Like, where's MorroW's anxiety to confront directly now? He's doing exactly what Sheth was doing to him, avoiding conflict.
Correct. This is actually the same game as last time, or excuse me, this is the same theory as last game. And you know what? I think MorroW could have done the same thing, although it's a lot more impractical for Terran to do that. They can only relocate their base if you're maxed on 200, and then you have to redo all the add-ons. But still, I mean, you can see his main being the bane of his existence, just like last game. And it's a positional thing. It's the fact that MorroW is not able to defend and attack, you know, on
multiple fronts.
On multiple fronts. Yeah.
Oh, look at this. The Infested, the natural expansion, dropping more Infested Terrans. It's like a la Lowly, you know? Just exactly what the shit Lowly did to Select on Antigua Shipyards, and just keeping those Infestors. And look at that, a scan that whiffs. And MorroW is very confused about where those Infested Terrans or Infestors are located. You can see at this point, man, MorroW just does not want to give up. Using these Marines very effectively. Some of them have 5-6 kills on each. And Sheth is actually mining only on 1 base as well, so he's going to have to start considering another additional expansion.
He's trying to get this top right-hand position, but it gets denied a little bit here and there. It looks like MorroW is going to relocate everything. Now, here's the problem with making all these supply depots over here. It means you have to defend this position. So he wants to commit all of his army to this bottom middle position, and he doesn't have the means to do that. Because now, all of a sudden, Sheth has another angle of attack. But it looks like he wants to just send some Ultralisks into some Terran fodder. It'll be he will lose one of them, but this is what I'm talking about. Now he's going to lose all these depots momentarily, or he should lose all of them momentarily. And you know, obviously MorroW can't do anything about it. It's really a shame. He has to commit all of his units down here.
MorroW has almost no income.
Wow. He's gonna.
And that's why Sheth was really trying to contest another expansion. But look at these supply depots dropping. MorroW's going to be so deep in the red. And try as you might, late game Terran is fantastic when played well, but it's almost impossible when it's 83 over 30. 22, I mean, MorroW has almost nothing. His supply cap is purely in his command centers at this point. And he can't really do anything at this point. You can see MorroW is, again, going to load up a drop. Going to try to move out somewhere. But Sheth is almost maxed. MorroW has no options whatsoever. And MorroW's doing Sheth's doing a fantastic job denying expansions compared to his opponent. You can see another attempt to shut down an expansion from Sheth. This has just been like the quintessential moment of the game, or the series, where just both players refusing to give up, trying to shut down bases, and trying to carry the game as far as they can.
Yeah, I think MorroW is in a worse off position than Sheth was in last game, though.
Yeah, a little bit.
Just
a tad.
Lot, yeah.
I mean, because MorroW can't make any units, and whatever minerals he can scrape up, he has to commit to depots. And
oh God.
Oh no, the fungals clean up everything else. Whew. That stings.
90 workers killed so far, 90 to 48. Frodan, that's more drones. That's like triple the drones.
It's like all the workers I make in one game, and like MorroW's had to make an incredible amount of them. You can see he's calling down all of his mules immediately, trying to see if he can salvage anything. Now, the production line of MorroW's also not as strong. He's got barracks, a naked factory, and a one that has a tech lab. And the starport doesn't really have a huge amount of ability to pump out units. And if he does, he's still supply blocked pretty deep.
As you can see, this drop doing phenomenal damage over here in the top middle position, but I don't think it's really going to matter. The advantage is so big. For Sheth at this point, a ton of Infested Terran will be pooped out here. And the Orbital Command Center is not moving in time, so I think it will go down. The mules go down for sure. And now finally targeting down this Orbital Command Center. Will it get out of range? And yes, ladies and gentlemen.
You know, MorroW's holding surprisingly well despite a constant, you know, near max army of Ling, Ultra, and Fester. I've just been really impressed at how MorroW's been able to manage everything. And again, I think when MorroW gets to choose map for game 3, things could be completely different of how this scenario plays out. You can see MorroW's still not quitting. He's got 4 Marines. As long as he's got Marines and medevacs, you can never really give up, can you, Andre?
And Orbital Command Centers, come on.
And Orbital Commands.
But do you know what the big problem is? He doesn't have +2 building army, so the supply depots go down a lot faster. A lot faster, Frodan. That's what happens.
You know what Sheth did, though? He brute forced his way back into this game. Absolutely just man-motored it back.
No, he finessed it,
no,
Frodan.
He completely muscled his way back
No,
into
he
this
finessed
game.
it. How dare you? How dare you say exactly the opposite of what I said?
We see Sheth is getting ready to gear for something. He's compiling lives and infested energy. At this point, if he just he can fungal everything to death pretty comfortably. As Sheth gearing up for something. You can see that he's trying to expand, trying to really secure everything. MorroW's still being annoying, sending Marines everywhere.
Okay, all he has to do is keep just like 3 infestors over there. He's okay. There's a ton of infestors in this game. 21. You can spare 3 up here, Sheth. It'll be okay.
I mean,
here we go. Big
infested Terrans.
Yeah. This is gonna be gigantic. Nope. He didn't shift click anything.
At this point, MorroW is running on fumes. He's running on the hope that Sheth makes the mistake, and that's why Sheth is doing this so surgically, trying to be very cautious. Time is on Sheth's side as well, because he can expand and really do anything he wants. And Infested Terrans, and he's trading energy for units.
Fungal growth. Oh my god. That is 100% of his economy.
Ooh.
He just killed 100% of his opponent. Nope. I'm sorry. Now it's down to something less.
He's got 2 workers left. That's where you're wrong. And MorroW tried to drop the top center, was immediately shut down by another fungal play. MorroW Never Say Die it should be his new nickname at this point. Man, I mean, can't believe MorroW's still staying in this game this long and holding this valiantly. Sheth, again, doing a fantastic job trading energy for supply, which MorroW really can't afford at this point of the game. Now imagine if MorroW wins from this position, and you know how badly I'd lose it, Andre?
You'd lose it pretty bad.
I lose it as bad as Rotterdam at a casino. GG! Sheth takes game number 2, brute forcing his way back into the series. It's tied 1-1.
Absolutely fantastic. That is how you finesse into a game after being so far behind. He was at 15 workers and only 2 bases to 23 with 3 orbital command centers. Sheth is a mastermind of everything, and he's looking really good going into game 3. I think we should just go there, man.
Yeah, we should just go in game number 3. We'll be back after this quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll see if Sheth can complete the comeback against MorroW, the division leader, here in Week 7, Division 5.